Alrighty. Hello, you all. It is Questin Fisher of the Fish Flicks again, here talking to you all about Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but this time with spoilers involved. Now, I'm going to go ahead and announce this right up front. This is a spoiler review, so I'm letting you all know this now because we're going to go in depth about the film in heavy spoilers. So if you have not seen this movie yet, I highly recommend you turning this video off, going out and watching this movie first beforehand before watching this video. So once you did watch the movie, if you haven't by now, then I recommend you coming back and talking about this movie with us in heavy spoilers. I also do have a non-spoiler review for if you do want to check out and hear my thoughts on this movie. It's uploaded to the page right now, but just wanted to give you a fair heads up and a warning that this is a spoiler review, just so everybody's clear and knowing that we're going to be going in depth about the plot details and story elements all throughout this film. So, you have been warned. Giving you 3 more seconds in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, going back and talking about this film in my initial non-spoiler review, I did say that I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I really did. I damn near loved it. I thought it was a damn good movie, man. Ryan Coogler, I remember when this film was in production because there was behind the scenes issues or whatnot that was going on, which I won't get too into details about. But there was some stuff going on, some questions, and then I saw all on social media, some of y'all were sitting there trying to question my boy Ryan Coogler, trying to sit there and say, oh, this movie's gonna suck. This movie's not gonna be good. Da, 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 da.
You are wrong. All of you are wrong.
I just sat there and I just watched. I'm like, alright, y'all talking all this shit now. Y'all must not realize who this man Ryan Coogler is. Like, trust in the storyteller before you get to judging. This man is a force to be reckoned with. And with this film, once again, he knocked it out of the park. Let's see. As far as a director right now, he is 4 for 4 with his films. Starting with Fruitvale Station, moving on to Creed, then the first Black Panther movie, and now this one. If you want to even go into producer credits, he has producer credits on Judas and the Black Messiah. He was one of the producers behind that. So really, if you want to be real, he's 5 for 5. He's a fantastic storyteller, so I didn't get this whole trying to judge this film thinking that it wasn't going to turn out well. Like, did y'all forget who made the first movie? It's the same guy. Like, come on now. Come on now. I remember I was watching y'all and y'all was all wrong. All of y'all. And he proved y'all ass wrong again. So, I just wanted to let that out. But overall, man, my thoughts on the movie, it was a damn good movie. I watched it again for a second time yesterday afternoon. And my thoughts on the movie, I enjoyed it even more upon second viewing because I was able to grasp and get an understanding for more of things that was going on all throughout. My issues I had with the movie are still there, of course, but the positives in the movie, they were even better that second time around. And that's normal for me with some movies that I really damn near enjoy a lot, that upon a second viewing that I tend to enjoy it even more. It's rare that I enjoy a film even less. It happens, but a lot of times once you get that second viewing, there's a lot more that you pick up on, and the little minor details that you may have missed upon the first viewing that you enjoy even more, and then you gain a more understanding for certain things all throughout the film. And really with this film, Ryan Coogler, man, he was talking in this movie low-key. He was talking because the scenarios that go on throughout this film that really fascinated me was how, T'Challa, he decided he wanted to, he opened up Wakanda a little bit to let them know, like, we exist. They exist. They have access to vibranium and try to share resources. But of course, these other countries, America, to be exact. You got France that showed up in that United Nations meeting as well. They're going to get very greedy. And what comes with that greed is aggression. And then, Americans, they think they can just come out and take whatever the hell they want. The oppressors, that's exactly what they do. So really with this film, it was aspects of an oppressive two people of color, two nations of color at that have access to this highly intelligent metal called vibranium that they use for resources for their own people. And of course, other parts of the world, they're gonna want it for themselves and think that they're just hogging it up, all Wakanda to be exact, because they don't know about Talakan and Namor at all in this film. They don't, so they come to Wakanda thinking they're just hogging it all up for themselves. But then once you get to that United Nations scene, which I absolutely loved. I loved that scene in the United Nations meeting, was when the Queen, she sat there and said, it's always been policy to not share vibranium with other parts of the world. Not because of vibranium being potentially dangerous, but because of the dangers of the world. And that's some real life shit that you gotta sit there and think about when watching this film. Because think about in a world like if in real life with us, if we had something like vibranium and Wakanda existed, would you really want a country like America to get their hands on vibranium? I'm telling you this right now, the answer is absolutely fucking not. Absolutely hell no. Because you saw the representative for France, she was sitting there speaking in French saying, I heard vibranium can be used to make weapons of mass destruction. And that's all that other people really want to use vibranium for. Is weapons. That's literally every single one of their first thoughts. Let's make more weapons. Let's do this, do that. And then, of course, they're going to sit there and think we're just hogging it up. And they think we're the ones that could be potentially dangerous having all access to vibranium. It's like, no, we're doing this to help our people and to secure and provide a fruitful life for our people and use it wisely. All the rest of y'all in this world, you oppressors, y'all gonna use this for dangerous effects. You're not even gonna think about the other people. They're gonna think about using it in a very selfish way, because this world has proven time and time again that it is very selfish, very greedy, very aggressive. So within that scene, when the United Nations, when she sat there, the Queen was like, we know what y'all been saying, that the king is gone, there's no Black Panther protecting Wakanda, that they're in a fragile state and that they can't protect themselves. And then they fucked around and found out. They went and found out, like, yo, y'all try to come at us again, this is what happens. And so they brought them back into that meeting room, and they peacefully was like, yo, kneel down. You gonna listen to what we say. We let you live, so you gonna listen to what I say. And then she puts everybody within that room in check, like, yo, I'm gonna give y'all a pass for this shit right now. But if y'all try that shit again, best believe we gonna take that as an act of aggression. And Angela Bassett, man, when she delivers and talks and delivers those lines, man, she absolutely brought it. She brought her A game this entire film. And I had a feeling before we saw the red carpet premiere reviews come out saying that she's the one that stepped up. She could be Oscar potential. And I'm here to say right here, right now, those leading actress Oscars, those should go to 2 black women this year. One, to the leading lady in the movie Till, that played Mammy Till, which I'm going to have a separate video talking about that movie because that's a whole nother issue on its own that I got a lot to get off my chest on. But for Best Supporting Actress, absolutely Angela Bassett. Give that to her. Make sure she's the front runner. Give her that award. I want nothing more. I want nothing less, actually. Nothing less. Because anything less than that is unacceptable. But we know how the Academy works, y'all. We know how they work. We know exactly how it works, man. But I'm just keeping it real, man. The best 2 performances I've seen from women this year have come from 2 black women. And I'm not just saying that just because I'm black as hell. But it's the mere fact and truth. 2 black women gave the two of the best performances in film all year. And Angela Bassett deserves her flowers for that. Now, before I go even more into the positives with this film, I want to get the negatives out the way of the film to talk about the main issue that I had with this film. And the main issue that I had with this movie, honestly, was the runtime. It was the runtime. And I don't mind long movies at all. I don't. I don't. Listen, this is the guy that sat there and watched Avengers Endgame damn near 10 times within the theater. And that's a 3-hour movie. So I don't mind long runtimes at all. I don't mind slow burns in movies at all. In fact, I love it because if you have a slow burn in a movie and you tell the story right, it works perfectly. And within this film, there is aspects of slow burn in it, and it worked effectively. But there was a lot more fluff in this film that I feel that you could have cut out about 15 to 20 minutes of this movie to tighten it up, make it paced a little bit better, and we would not be feeling the runtime as much within this film. In particular, the scenes, to me, that could have been cut down definitely was the scenes involving Mr. Everett Ross and Miss Val. Now, we know why they were heavily featured within this film a lot is because, it's pretty much to like set up future series because, we got the Thunderbolts coming down the line, I believe in 2024. We got Ironheart coming down the line, which Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams, she was great in this movie, and she was great for the role that she filled within this film as well. But yeah, we got a lot of things. And then I saw on the trailer for Secret Invasion, Ross is going to be a part of that. Whether he's a Skrull or what, I don't know. So you could tell those scenes involving those two, that was mainly just to set up future series and movies down the line. Now, Ross, I think he could have been used. He was used well in this film, but I would have used him a little differently and not as much. Not to scenes that they had them in. Like, for example, that car scene between the two of them. You could have easily cut that out and went about it a different way. You could have easily cut it because was that necessary for this film? No, but I understand, having the phone conversations, having that inside CIA connect that Wakanda has. So he's necessary. I don't think his role should have been cut from the film at all. I don't. But they could have used him differently, I feel, within this film. They used him okay, but not necessarily the amount of scenes that we got with him within the movie. I don't think we needed all of that, especially when it came to like talking about their relationship, their past marriage and whatnot. I didn't care. Because this is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care about hearing a white people's relationship or marriage in the past in a movie called Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Just being honest. I'm just being honest. Just got to keep it real. So there's some of that. With Riri Williams, I thought she was great within the movie. But some of the MIT scenes, it did drag on a little bit too much. So I probably would have cut those down. Maybe instead of us having a meet at the dorm room, they could have maybe saw Riri Williams at MIT and then seeing her drive off to that garage where her lab is essentially. And then you could have them talk to her then and try to get her to Wakanda. And then that's when you have the FBI, the police, all of them try to raid that. So it's just little minor things that I probably would have cut out just because this was a very elongated movie. And it didn't necessarily need to be as long as it is. This was a 2-hour and 41-minute movie. This could have been cut down to about 2 hours and 20 minutes. 2 hours and 25 minutes probably. Hell, maybe you could have just did 2 hours and 30 minutes. Cutting 10 minutes from a movie that's 2 hours and plus long, that's a significant chunk. It may not seem as much, but 10 minutes of footage, that's a lot for one movie. So yeah, that was my main issue with the film was the runtime. And then also when it came to Namor, I thought he was a very fascinating and interesting character. Tenoch Huerta, he played him masterfully. I thought he was great as well in the film. But when it came to his origin and how he came about, why he hates the surface world, it's like you get it, but it's a tad bit weak at the same time, though. Just a tad bit weak because we saw how he was born, his mother, how she was sick, and now they all became what they became and moved to living underwater. So I didn't fully understand. Me and my friend, we were talking about it. Shout out to Jordan. Me and my friend, we were sitting there talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I didn't fully grasp exactly how the mom died, whether it was of old age, whether it was the smallpox that got to her. I'm not sure. They didn't fully elaborate or explain that enough. And then you see young Namor, he sees basically slavery within his own eyes. He's like, fuck this world. Fuck the surface world. And it's like, you get that, why you wouldn't really want nothing to do with them because of the way that they treat their own people. So I get that, but it was a situation of that's something that he can't really control at all. So him going out and about and just wrecking shop and assorting his dominance and just killing folks, you know, that was just a tad bit weak to me. Just a tad bit weak, you know. And then him wanting to kill Riri Williams, you know, I'm like, I'm like split down the middle on his reasons for that one. I'll say split down the middle. Like I said, there was nothing like I overly just hated about this movie or even disliked for that matter. These are just little minor negatives because not every film is perfect, but those are the little things that I maybe would have worked on and switched up personally for me. Now, I've never made a feature-length film. I haven't. So I'm just speaking from a fan's perspective, you know, just a simple little old college film student just talking about film. Alrighty. So let's get out of the negatives. I got all the negatives out the way. Now I'm ready to go back into the positives about this film. This film, man, this journey of Shuri, I thought her journey throughout this film was masterfully told. I loved Shuri's journey because, you know, unfortunately, rest in peace to Mr. Chadwick Boseman, man. We don't have a T'Challa, so the decision they made to write off his character, you know, that's a respectful decision. There is no right or wrong decision about whether they should have recasted him or they should just write him out of the story, write his character out. There's no right or wrong situation because that's a hard situation. That's a hard decision to make because you want to honor and be respectful to him and his family and his legacy. So that decision, you know, you can understand it. I can understand why they decided to write him out, and if they just decided to outright recast him, I can understand that as well. So I'm a little tired and over seeing the whole, oh, they should have did this and that. Like, listen, shut up and just enjoy the movie for what it is. They thought this was the most respectful decision to make, and just move from there. Like, it's not changing. The movie's done. It's locked. It's in theaters. So shut up about the whole recast T'Challa movie, man, and just accept it for what it is. Anyways, had a little moment there. But back to what I was talking about with Shuri. Her journey, man, she's very broken throughout this film, man. She's broken, and then she's teetering on just fully breaking. And then once you see her journey and her witnessing her own mom die, because spoiler alert, like I told you guys, the Queen Mother dies in this film at the hands of Namor once he throws the water bombs right there into the throne room. She dies, and Shuri witnesses it. So first, in the beginning of the movie that takes place a year back, she's broken because she sat there and she wanted to try to save her brother. But right then and there, when she's the smartest woman in the entire universe, for that fact, she's the smartest woman in the universe. That feeling of her not being able to save her own brother's life, that's gonna hurt her. And so you see her drown herself in her work, and she's just all up in her science and her research because she doesn't want to face and move on to the next step of the mourning phase. She doesn't, man, because she's just so heartbroken and just broken. And so we see the Queen Mother throughout this film. She's having to lead and guide on a country that is a little bit broken because there is no Black Panther, there is no king, but at the same time trying to just sit there and be a mom to Shuri and look out for her. And so that I love that story between those two, and those two really carried this movie a good chunk. So seeing Shuri's journey to watching her see her own mom die and going through the loss of her brother. Shuri has no family now. If you really sit there and think about it, like it's a similar situation to Peter Parker. And that's been the theme of Phase 4. It's been the theme of loss, grief, mourning, and moving on to the next phase of the mourning. Because we've seen that with Peter Parker in No Way Home. He literally has nobody, and nobody remembers who he is. Thor in Thor: Love and Thunder. He finally gets back right with Jane, but Jane has cancer and she dies at the end of the movie. And Shuri, she has no family. Her father died in Civil War. You know, the passing of Chadwick Boseman, they wrote off the character. He dies in the beginning of the movie. And then she witnesses her own mother die in front of her. And there was nothing she could do about it at all. So that was just fascinating to see. And seeing her journey into her becoming the Black Panther and her figuring out how to recreate the heart-shaped herb after they were all burned in the first Black Panther movie, it really felt earned. And we didn't need no long montage of her training, fighting, combat, and whatnot. She earned that journey because she finally figured it out and wants vengeance. Because she's completely broken. See, what I love that Ryan Coogler did is that you see the parallels between Shuri and T'Challa. T'Challa had that same mindset in Civil War because he witnessed his own father die, and he had the Black Panther within him at the time, and there was nothing he could do to save him at the last moment. So it was nothing but vengeance that was on his mind. And Shuri, she's facing that same exact journey. And then they say that, and in that fight scene that she has with Namor in the third act, she says, "Vengeance has consumed us. We cannot let it consume our people as well." I just thought that was wonderful. And then her fight scenes when she does become the Black Panther, you can tell she's not a combat warrior at all. She's a science girl. She knows how to fight, of course, but she's not a warrior. So she gets lumped up a little bit against Namor. She does. As far as the hands go, man, she does get lumped up. So she has to use her smarts to take down Namor within this film. And I just thought that was wonderful to see within this movie. I absolutely loved every aspect of it. It felt she earned the right to become the Black Panther. She figured it out. And that scene when she visits the ancestral plane and she thinks she's going to see T'Challa or her mom or even her dad. She sees none of them. She sees Killmonger. Now that was basically her facing the fact and owning up, pretty much saying to herself, like, yeah, there's nothing but vengeance in my mind. I'm broken right now. I lost everything, so I gotta get my kid back and get him back. So I just love that scene, and it was great to see Michael B. Jordan back as Killmonger because, let's keep it real, it's only right that Killmonger shows up in this movie. It's only right that Mike B shows up in a Ryan Coogler movie because they came up together. They blew up together. Fruitvale Station, Creed. That 1-2 punch that really blew them up and put them on the map. So it was only right for him to show up in this movie. But man, I just absolutely love that fact. Love that stuff when it came to Shuri within this film. And I do want to touch on something else with this movie is the humor in this movie. It wasn't that excessively overly jokey type Marvel vibe that we have gotten, especially within the Phase 4 of the MCU. It's gotten very much jokey, wanting to be a comedy studio. What? The comedy in this film was great. All the comedy was funny. I laughed at everything. And it really felt more natural within this film and fit in the right place as opposed to previous projects. That was my problem with Thor: Love and Thunder. You know, She-Hulk. She-Hulk wasn't even that funny, to be exact. It was a bunch of different writers just trying to write lines of comedy for these people to say. And with this film, you could tell the actors and actresses, it all just felt natural. Felt like people naturally talking, and then a joke comes out here and there. So that's something I love because this is not a comedy. This is a heavy film about loss, grief, and mourning all throughout this film. And so Ryan Coogler wasn't finna just turn this into joke fest. Like, you get a joke, you get a joke, you get a joke. So I love that about the film, man. And there's so much more about this film that I really want to touch on as well. As far as the comedy, like I said, M'Baku, he's great. Whenever he's on screen, you're just focused on him. And I loved M'Baku's journey, but I feel we didn't get enough of him in this movie at all. It's like he didn't necessarily have a arc within this film. He was there for the most part, but he did have something to do within this film because we've seen him grow in his journey after what T'Challa did for him and the Jabari tribe and him bringing him in to the circle pretty much. And so M'Baku, I loved how he's after seeing Shuri's mom die, seeing T'Challa pass as well, he steps up to somewhat of a big brother role to Shuri now because Shuri literally has nobody. And we hear M'Baku say out of his own mouth, like, I promised your brother I'd provide counsel to you. And so he sees and knows exactly what's going on in Shuri's mind. He sees and knows, especially within that conversation that they have in Jabari Land. Because, listen, this starts from the first Black Panther movie. He looks at Shuri like just a child who scoffs at tradition, like just some child. And then he sits there and says, listen, you've lost so much in the world right now. You can't even be considered a child anymore. You've lost so much. So he steps up and tries to be a big brother role because he sees that there's nothing but vengeance in Shuri's eyes now after she lost both her brother and her mom within the span of a year. And that's tough for anybody to face. And so when Shuri's trying to sit there and talk to him and get him to lead into the fight against Namor, he's like, listen, of course going after and coming after Namor's head is worth fighting for the Queen Mother after her death. He said, of course it is. But he knows that's not what her mom would want from her. He knows. So that's why I said he's stepped up to the big brother role that she needs right now at this time. He's going to be Shuri's voice of reason moving forward, I feel. And I love that. I wish we could have gotten more of him. I hope we see more of him in the MCU as a whole. I really do. And I'm so happy that at the end of the film, they allude to M'Baku being the one taking the throne of Wakanda. I absolutely love that. And I cannot wait to see where that goes, man. M'Baku as the king of Wakanda, man. Woo! Woo! Man. I'm telling y'all, the world, they don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke, man. They really don't. And especially because at the end we saw, since Shuri knows how to create a synthetic heart-shaped herb gives them the powers of the Black Panther, I'm really curious to see, do they eventually give M'Baku the powers of the Black Panther since he's the king of Wakanda? Or do they just let Shuri be that on her own? I'm really curious to see. Because listen, who says you can't have two Black Panthers for watching over Wakanda? You can have one specifically guarding and looking after Wakanda. You could have M'Baku doing that. And then you could have Shuri go all out more into the world as Black Panther, looking out for Wakanda in that way as well. Possibly being an Avenger at that, because M'Baku's not going to be an Avenger. Hell no. That's not within his character. But Shuri? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because there is no Avenger group right now. And you can have two Black Panthers. One for Wakanda, and then you could have the Avenger Black Panther. I don't know. I'm just saying shit off the top of my head. I'm just guessing and speculating right now. Shit that I possibly want to see. And then when it comes to this use of vibranium and the America in particular may wanting to take some offensive action against Wakanda that was alluded to in this film, could there possibly be a war between America and Wakanda? Because if so, you know who I could see getting in between the mix of this? Sam Wilson, Captain America. I could absolutely see him being a part of it and trying to resolve this whole situation, man. Because he's a black man and he's playing Captain America at that. And he has love and ties for Wakanda as well. So I'm really curious to see the future of this franchise, man. And what I really loved and got from this film is that it's not just about Black Panther, the mantle. It's about Wakanda and its people, and what the people mean for Wakanda, and how Black Panther means to them as their protector and their watcher and their overseer, man. And I really love that about the film. I'm going a little all over the place, guys, so bear with me. Also, another thing that I want to bring up about this film in regards to Namor. Namor, man. He dropped that line. He dropped it. He said he was a mutant. He said it, man. He said it. That's the second time in the MCU, in particular the Phase 4, that we've heard that word, mutant, mutation. So we're not far off from mutants at all in the MCU. We're probably just a few years out. Probably the earliest, 2026, is when they're all finna really come through. And then I also predict that once Deadpool 3 comes out, Deadpool is going to play a significant role in bringing in the mutants into the main MCU timeline. Especially since you're going to have Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine as well. Oh, absolutely, yeah. They're def going to play a major role in introducing mutants into the MCU. So they're teasing y'all. They're really teasing y'all. The mutants are on the way, man. They really are. Overall, with this film, this was a beautiful tribute and a send-off of T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, man. They really did an excellent job. Everybody behind the scenes for this film, they brought their A game, and they really wanted to honor the life and legacy of Chadwick Boseman. And you could just feel it all throughout this film. Whether that be the beginning, man, the funeral scene honoring T'Challa, and then you see those opening credits, those opening Marvel Studios credits. Like, I've never seen this before, where it's literally radio silent within the theater. Like, you can literally hear a pin drop. That's how silent it was during those opening credits honoring Chadwick Boseman. And I love that, man, because you just really felt it in the air, man. We really miss us some Chadwick Boseman. We really do, because that man was a star. That man was a star dating back when I first saw him in Jackie Robinson. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a guy right here. This is a guy. And then he went on to do James Brown and Get On Up. And then that film, Ma Rainey's, I don't know the full title for it, but Ma Rainey's, man. The Oscars, man, y'all knew what y'all was doing, man. Y'all knew exactly what the hell y'all was doing. Y'all could have gave that man that Oscar. That was his Oscar to win. And y'all didn't want to give it to him, man. That's what I think of the Academy sometimes, man. That's what I really think. But overall, also, really quickly, I do want to touch on that, the ending and the post-credit scene. Because the ending, when we finally see Shuri doing that ritual that her mom wanted her to do earlier in the film, but she just couldn't do at the time. We really seen the life and evolution of Shuri as she's growing and moving on to the next phase of her life and the next phase of the mourning after she just lost her brother and her mom, as she burns those funeral garbs to move forward. And she just lets it out on that beach scene, man. She just lets it out. Just lets all the tears out. Just lets it all out. Let it free. Like, yo, I love my family. I miss them great dearly. And I need to move forward, man. And she finally moves up and grows and she moves forward, man. She really does. And I love that about this film. And then we get to that ending where we see Nakia and where she's been this entire time, which Lupita Nyong'o, man, that is a woman. That is a woman. She is very beautiful. We see where she's been at this whole time and why she wasn't around during Infinity War Endgame and why she was away for so many years. Because she was off in Haiti raising her and T'Challa's son. And I love that. And you understand why she was where she was at the time of this film and why she was missing for a good chunk of it. And it was just, that mid-credit scene alone is worth a price of admission watching this movie. That was absolutely beautiful. So the MCU is going to go on for a very long time. It ain't going nowhere. It's not going nowhere at all based off the ending, the post-credit scene of this movie right here. He said, Tusong is my Haitian name. My name is Prince T'Challa. And once you heard that, man, everybody in the theater, like, you just felt the joy and happiness of seeing that, man, because that was just beautiful. That right there was absolutely beautiful. And I loved every single bit of it. I'm glad we just got that mid-credit scene. We didn't need another post-credit scene setting up a whole nother movie, another villain, whether that be Doctor Doom, whatnot. We didn't need none of that for this film. We didn't need that at all, and I'm really glad that we didn't get anything like that at all in this film. Just to keep it all focused on honoring the life legacy of Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa's character, to the T'Challa character, man. And I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. So overall, I did give this movie out of the fish scale a 4.25 out of 5. I do, and I stand on that score. I thought this is a damn good movie. This is a damn good movie. Is it as good as the first Black Panther movie? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. But still, nonetheless, great movie. And we end off Phase 4 of the MCU on a very high note, and I'm glad to see it. I absolutely am. And this is a top 3 Phase 4 Marvel movie, and this is easily the best Marvel movie all year. And I know that's not too much high of a bar, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Overall, this is a fantastic movie, and I'm so glad that you all were sitting here talking spoilers with me today. Thank you so much for sitting here watching this video, man. Go ahead, you can follow me on social media. I got my social medias posted all up on my page. Wavy_fish56 for Twitter, and an elongated Quest 56 on Instagram. And then go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down below and hit that bell as well, just to keep you posted on all of my uploads. I will have more stuff coming out this week, more film reviews that I got, because I got a lot of shit to say. I do, man. This is only the beginning. And I'm so glad that y'all started this journey off with me, man, and I'm excited for the future of talking movies, TV, and pro wrestling at that fact with you guys. So overall, man, y'all have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves. Go watch Black Panther again for all that matters. Go watch it if you haven't had a second viewing. And I'm really curious to see what you guys' thoughts are upon second viewing. So let me know y'all thoughts, comments below in the comment section, and go ahead, once again, hit that subscribe button, like the video for me as well. That's greatly appreciated. And yeah, I'm gonna see y'all around, man. Talk to y'all later.
You are wrong! All